All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. Let me just move this over here. Good morning, guys. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday, everyone. Let me just make sure you guys can hear me all good. Let me bring this over. There we go. All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. Zoom guys, welcome back. YouTube guys, welcome back. Apologies, we missed the Friday stream, guys, but we are back. Audio and video good, awesome. Thank you, man. Welcome back, everyone. If any of you guys are new here, welcome. My name is Aaron, also known as Aaron Trades. I've been trading for the past 7 years and mainly focus on gold futures here in the European session. So, hope everyone had a good weekend. Ready for another big week in the markets. Had a nice green week last week on gold, which is always good. A little bit of a quieter week last week on gold. Friday ended up being a really, really active day, but unfortunately I didn't get to trade Friday. But let's have a look, see what we got for the week, because there is quite a lot of news coming up this week, guys. So let's just, before we start jumping into our top down on gold, let's see what news we got coming up this week, and we'll look at all other markets this morning as well, guys. We'll look at gold. We'll have a look at NQ. We can have a look at look at all markets. Get prepared for the week ahead. Let me just turn this music down a little bit. There we go. I think that's good. There we go. So let's have a look. So today, December the 8th, we have Italian bank holiday. So nothing today on the cards at all. Tomorrow is a big day. Tuesday the 9th, we have ADP weekly employment changes, and we also have JOLTS job openings at 3 p.m. London time. Wednesday, we have some employment costs. We also have FOMC at 7 p.m. So Wednesday is going to be a very, very, very big day in the markets, guys. 7 o'clock London time. FOMC on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, unemployment claims. And on Friday, we have pound GDP. So we are in for a pretty active week. Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the biggest days here. Let me just grab my water, guys. Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be the biggest days in the markets. So definitely some days to be cautious of choppy price action leading up into that news. So let's have a look at the markets here, guys. Let's see what we got for the week ahead. We've got NQ having a decent squeeze. Gold's in some pretty interesting levels. Obviously, we did our weekly market call yesterday. You guys on Zoom, definitely be sure to give that a watch. But let's see what we got. Let's jump on this. Let's do some top-down analysis here on gold, guys. Have a quick look at that. Quick look at that weekly candle. How did we close last week? How could we potentially close coming into this week? So last week, a bit of an interesting close here on gold. We actually closed bearish back below 42.50. We also came up and wicked out some major highs here and actually failed to close above the resistance. We also held 4,300, which is a very, very, very big psychological level. 4,300, 4,200. Gold filled about 1,000 tick range last week. 1,056 tick range, which is very, very, very big. And closed bearish. So to me, the fact that this weekly is opening and is already green, like this weekly is opening and coming up, it's already green. It's looking like this could be a potential top wick for this to have a bit of a retracement here on gold. That's what I would be looking for this week. You kind of see that was that nice liquidity grab that we spoke about last week for price to come up, liquidate these highs. We've done that pretty perfectly. And then you can see here on Friday, unfortunately I didn't get to trade Friday, but you wicked out major highs, held all the way back below 42.50 with a 500 tick wick rejection and actually closed bearish. So there's a bit of you can see there's a bit of a daily range here on gold. You know, you're not really closing above, you're not really closing below, you're kind of wicking out highs, you're wicking out lows. So it's a little bit choppy on the daily time frame. There's no real breakouts. You know, you've tried to break to the upside, you failed to close above. You tried to break to the downside, failed to close below. And you pretty much did that for the whole entirety of last week. Last week was just full of daily candles trying to break out, failing, trying to break out, failing. Here again, trying to break out, failing here. And especially again on Friday. Now, with the daily not really showing us too much, we kind of have to use our intraday price action to tell us a little bit more. So what we can see here on gold is Friday, we had this beautiful liquidity grab. You know, anyone who was selling gold here, risking off these highs, they got squeezed out. So now that gold has come up, you've ripped these highs, you're starting to get back below. Where could gold come to next? Well, the next lows of the range, and this is a much higher time. I'm not saying this has to happen right now, but overall, I like gold this week to come back down into 4,200 and back down into these lows around 41.93-ish. Because you can kind of see you also have a bit of a trend line coming up like this. Anyone who's trying to buy this trend line, they'll very likely get squeezed out. Exactly the same as people would have been, you know, trying to short this trend line. Well, they got squeezed out. So the sellers, the early sellers have got squeezed out. Now it looks like gold's ready to maybe come down and squeeze out any early buyers here as well. Now, what could we see? That's just an overall outlook. But what could we actually see for gold in the next hour that we're on here for? Well, let's have a look. So we've got these liquidity levels all the way down there. Now, this low is pretty far away. I think if you're going to come down this low, maybe it takes until FOMC on Wednesday. You know, it's a 500 tick push. We'll see. Enter buys at 42.36. 42.36. Yeah, it looks pretty nice there, man. Yep. Maybe just for a pullback into this 42.50 level. Looks pretty nice. I like that 42.50. The only thing with gold is, you know, that daily is pretty bearish. So it's kind of hard to want to trade against this just yet. But yeah, I can see that for a little bit of a pullback. I think what's going to be the biggest decider here on gold is how this hourly candle closes. I think if this hourly candle closes like this in 90 minutes, gold sells all the way back down into these areas. Look very nice. Very, very, very nice. So I'd like to see this pre-London candle on gold give us a bit of a breakout, and then I'd like to see if we could continue selling. So right now you are coming into some nice support. What do we do in Asia here today? So Asia, you pushed up, sold off, kind of ranged a little bit, broke out. So I would want to see if London can start getting back below these levels. If we get back below here, look at this. We have even more trendline liquidity coming up here. More people trying to buy this. To me, more reason to see this start to roll over. So I would say I'm intraday bearish here on gold. Bearish for gold to come down for some pretty decent retracements. Unless, you know, at what point could we maybe say there's time for a bit of a pullback? Well, let's measure this move here. Not the nicest of fib settings, but you haven't even really retraced 50% of this move yet. So is there potential for gold to maybe retrace more of this downward move? Yeah, also possible. Again, what's the most important thing right now here on gold is if we're going to hold these levels. If we wick back above here, great longs. If we close below, fantastic shorts. So now we can kind of use this level as a level to stay reactive off. If we close below, we get that hourly breakout, great, we can go short. If we close above, maybe there's pullbacks into that 42.50 level. This is a big make or break level right now here on gold. The nice thing about where gold is right now, coming into this London session, is Asia hasn't had any sort of crazy moves. You know, sometimes you jump on London like this. You know, you jump on London on Friday. You know, gold's already up 300 ticks. So the likelihood of a range is extremely likely, and that's pretty much what you did on gold from 6:30 all the way until 1 o'clock. Gold had a massive range because you had this huge push up, well then you're going to range, and then you continue. But you kind of ranged here in Asia. So I think London could give us a pretty decent move. If we close like this in 17 minutes, guys, I do prefer the sells here on gold. But again, want to stay as reactive as possible. But either way, I can see gold shaping up for some pretty interesting plays here today, and this week. I think we should be in for some. Pretty interesting trades this week on gold. And we can have a look at. We'll have a look at NQ as well, guys. Let me just get rid of trading view here. Let's skip this on a bit. Where are we? There we go. As is 4 hour here on gold. 4 hour bullish. Trying to get back below. To me, this daily is what screams the sells. Look at this. Look at this daily candle. This is what screams the downside here on gold. Look at that Friday. Massive wick rejection. Closed bearish. Back at big daily resistance. Look at this from a complete naked chart right now. Look at Friday's candle closure. And look at where price is. Massive, massive, massive resistance. This is the level of where Friday opened and flipped bearish and hit that big resistance. So, to me, looking for sells at this area makes more sense than longs. Big daily resistance, strong candle close on Friday. So I would like to look to short this on gold. Let's have a look here. Nice, look at that, 15 tagged highs, closing bearish as well. Nice, nice breakout there on gold. Well, yeah, I'm in a different part of Spain now, man. We're more down south. Closer to Alicante area. It's nice and I would say it's nice and warm, but it's warmer than Barcelona. Certainly not shorts and t-shirt weather, that's for sure. But it's warmer than Barcelona. Look at this nice breakout here on gold, guys. There may be a potential pre-London short here. Let me have a look. Let's have a look. I'm gonna get that 15. Look at the 50 just came up, wicked the previous highs. Breaking out nicely. If we can get a bit of a pullback here on gold, I may see if there's a potential pre-London short. You closed with no bottom wick on that 15? Yes, you did. If we can pull back here on gold, there's a potential for a pre-London short. That's a kind of a nice liquidity grab. Previous highs, closure back below there as well. Yeah, I'm in a different part of Spain. I've only just got set up yesterday, so you guys on YouTube, the background doesn't look that exciting. I'm gonna move it around today. Yeah, nice owly evening star. Yep, I like that. Very nice owly evening star. Owly evening star. Break back below. We could get some really nice sells here. Really, really nice sells. Let's have a look. It's not a bad place to sell gold here. Only because we have the London Open coming up. I would just rather see the London Open because you'll probably get a top wick on the hourly. So I'm going to short this just yet. Good morning, good morning, good morning, man. What could we identify on Bitcoin and Ethereum both? I think Ethereum is increasingly a nice name to trade with. Great risk scaling. Yeah, we can have a look. Definitely, we can have a look. We got time here. Let's wait for London Open on gold. I'm not going to short this just yet. Let's have a look at Bitcoin first, and we'll have a look at NQ as well, guys. How did we close last week on Bitcoin after we had that decent short, you know, here previous weeks? Last week, what did we do here on Bitcoin? We came down, we wicked out previous weekly candle lows, held 85,000, and also wicked out the highs and pretty much held 95,000 as well. So it's a bit of a strange weekly closure on the futures chart here on Bitcoin. It'd be interesting to see what the currency chart was like, the spot chart. But this weekly candle here on Bitcoin, wicked the highs, wicked the lows, you know, body closure within the previous body, so not a whole heap of volume just yet. Not much to say on the daily there on Bitcoin. You kind of have a bit of a, same as gold, you know, big trend line coming down. I would say you're more likely to manipulate that higher. Probably see Bitcoin squeeze a little bit higher. Or that 15 may have been the short there on gold. Let's see. Can we trade Ethereum here? Yeah, we can. So I'd look for Bitcoin to continue spiking a little bit higher. A little bit higher. It's a pretty decent bounce off 90,000. Remember, we have a lot of news coming up this week as well. A lot of news. What's your strategy by using a 100k account versus a 50k account? Not really too much, just access to more drawdown. But to be honest, I don't really trade it that differently. I'll probably sometimes trade maybe a little bit more size on the 100 as opposed to a 50, but nothing too crazy, to be honest. That was my week last week. Let's go back here when we started this one. Where are we? Week last week, I didn't trade Monday. I also unfortunately couldn't trade Friday. So I only traded 3 days last week, but was still able to make a nice $1,000, which is very nice. And you can see most of my weeks, I'm only really trading 3 times a week. 3 to 4 to sometimes 5, depends on the markets. But yeah, I only traded 3 days last week. Remember, guys, Monday morning, start the week off right. Set your personal day loss limits. If you don't have your personal day loss limit set, then you're setting yourself up for disaster. Set your personal day loss limits. Lock it in for the day as well. Don't let any unnecessary losses happen when you have the ability to eliminate them things as much as possible here on TopstepX. So let's have a look at NQ. We got London Open in 10 minutes here, guys. I just want to see how gold's going to close here. There's not a bad 15 short there, but we're that close to the London Open that I'm going to wait for London Open. Now, NQ, we called some nice longs on NQ, which we haven't quite got there, but we called NQ longs back up into these highs from the 5th of November. Now, we haven't quite got there, but we did get very, very close on Friday. You guys who were here early last week, we were talking about, you know, lots of people trying to short here on NQ, risking off these highs, so you're looking to buy up into these levels. Buy up into these levels where most people are trying to short. Now, how do we actually close last week? Continued pushing up. Look at this. You had this. Look at that. Look how nice these higher time frame technicals are here on NQ. You had that massive weekly fake out confirmation. So any of you guys who bought up a lot of stocks in the end of November are absolutely banking. You had that huge week closure back above 25,000, back above 25,250, came down, held it as support, resistance, continued pushing. So very, very, very nice week last week to be a trader on NQ. If you guys do trade NQ, I don't trade it very often, but there was a very, very, very nice longs here. So I would be looking for NQ to continue squeezing out Friday's high and then these highs here that we spoke about as well. Now, let's see here. So coming up into this big resistance level, major resistance. I think a lot of people try to short here on NQ. You're very likely to continue squeezing it higher. Look at this intraday price action though. Although the higher time frame is nice here on NQ, look at this intraday price action. You rip up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Huge rip down, massive rip up, all the way back down. So it's I don't know how you guys trade NQ, but NQ looks like it's, although it's moving nice and higher on the higher time frame, as intraday traders, this whipsaw price action is extremely hard to trade. So London open at 8 minutes here on NQ, kind of wicking out highs, wicking out lows. I would like to see NQ continue squeezing higher today. Do I think it's the nicest market for the London session? No, I think gold's way nicer right now. I think gold's much nicer. You kind of see you're grabbing highs, grabbing lows. Look at this previous hourly, wicked out the highs, wicked out the lows, failed to close bearish. Current hourly here on gold, you know, we're trying to understand what is this hour doing so we can trade this 8 a.m. London hourly candle. So you can see it's, again, wicking out highs, wicking out lows. Potentially, 8 minutes, anything can happen, potentially failing to close above and below. So maybe you may pull back a little bit more before seeing them longs. I don't think NQ is looking that nice here, I'll be honest. I think gold's much nicer. How many copy trades? I'm not really copy trading these Topstep accounts. I'm kind of just trading this one on its own. Hi, Aaron. Hey, man. Shouldn't gold take out that upside liquidity before moving down? I mean, it doesn't have to. Friday was the liquidity grab. Look at this Friday. Look at the daily time frame. That's the liquidity has been and gone. Look at this, huge. Wicked out the highs, closed bearish. If you're thinking, you know, maybe could price come to these highs? Like, should it maybe take these highs? I mean, it can. It doesn't have to, though. It definitely doesn't have to. You kind of see you're already grabbing some previous. This would have been a big level where people try and short here, and they've now been squeezed out. So, if you're kind of thinking about these highs here, I mean, it's not to say that you're wrong, but again, you know, be more reactive than thinking we have to grab these highs. We don't have to grab these highs at all. If we start to close back above, then we can say, cool, fake out buys into this resistance and back up into that 42.50 level. But if you start closing back below again, you know, you want to stay reactive to that. Morning, team. Good morning, man. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Yes, weekend was good. Thank you, man. Hope you had a good weekend as well. We got London open in 6 minutes here as well, guys. But, you know, there's also nothing to say, you know, just because you think these highs are going to get grabbed, that doesn't mean you still couldn't pull back first before then maybe doing that, and you don't want to miss out on this intraday short before potentially going long. I think we also want to be thinking about, you know, we're trying to trade here for the next hour together. So we're going to try to figure out what's going to happen at this 8 a.m. candle. Well, as long as this 7 a.m. candle closes below this resistance, you have this nice evening star play. I would like to short it. Is it the nicest of shorts right now? Not really, because you're kind of right back into support here as well, so you'd have to manage pretty aggressively. But given the fact that the daily did close grabbing major highs on Friday and selling off very aggressively, I would be more comfortable shorting gold than buying gold right now. I'd be happy to take a short, and if I get stopped out on my short, I would look at my high time frame and go, yeah, that was a pretty decent short. I followed Friday's candle. I followed the weekly time frame. First thing here on a Monday morning, I'd be happy to short that. No, I definitely wouldn't short this hourly evening star now. This isn't really an hourly evening star until it closes. Because you grab tag lows and close bullish. This is a very bullish candle. No, I wouldn't have shorted this. Because you still broke out here. Yeah, I wouldn't have shorted this. It's not the nicest of evening stars. It's not an evening star where, you know, I would short here. You can see this morning star was much nicer because this candle here didn't close aggressively bearish. You can see it kind of wicked out lows here, grabbed the lows, held support. This is a much nicer morning star. Even here is a much nicer evening star because this candle didn't close incredibly bullish, whereas this candle tag lows closed aggressively bullish and actually broke out. So I'd rather see this candle break back below and then see if we can short it, which we're about to do nicely. And let me get the micro chart up here in case we do get these London Open shorts. Hey Aaron, hey man. Fed expected to begin buying back 45 billion of debt each month, not Jerry. What you expect for gold with that? Nothing really. I don't really look into that much. We'll just wait and see price action. I think I'm trying to think too far ahead. We're looking for day trades. Higher time frame still very bullish on gold. It just seems like noise. Tried to short the hourly fake out. Which one? Sorry, this one. This one down here. Yeah, to me that's too low on gold. You know, the weekly has to come for a bit of a pullback. You also didn't really close below, so shorting this hourly fake out, yeah, it was just kind of shorting support. I wouldn't have shorted this personally, because if you take this short, it doesn't work. You're gonna look back at your trade and go, I was selling support, selling major support, huge massive daily support, massive 4-hour support. You can see all of this one big huge level. If I was looking to, you know, if we were looking at this from a complete neutral perspective, you know, when gold's all the way down here, if we look at this, well, where would we want to be shorting from? We'd want to be shorting from somewhere back at this big resistance. And again, that's sometimes why, if I just clear this up, if we see this huge sell-off on gold, you know, we jump onto the charts here, first thing on Monday, well, where do we want to be shorting from? We're probably going to be shorting from like anywhere back up here. Definitely not down there. Unfortunately, it's just a bit too low for me. Although it was an hourly fake out, you didn't really close below the lows, and it also just looks like more of a range, to be honest. You have support here, you have resistance there. So personally, yeah, I would have tried to avoid that short just because it has pushed down so much. We got London open in 2 minutes here, guys. 2 minutes. Aaron, I want to add gold in my bucket to trade. Nice, that's what we like to hear. Can you guide me where to start? I currently trade NQ for the last year and a half. From where and how can I learn characteristics of gold? Right here, man. Right here, right now. This is the place. We trade gold here every single morning, man. I also have many of different videos on my channel breaking down the way that I trade gold. Gold is pretty much all I trade. There's the odd, is there an odd Nasdaq trade? There's the odd Nasdaq trade every now and again, but 90% of my trades are gold. So here is the place to learn, man. Or like I say, on my channel, I have many of gold videos. Pretty much all the trade breakdowns you'll see on my channel is gold. Yes, exactly, bro. Right here, right now. Exactly. London open in 1 minute here, guys. This is a pretty decent hourly candle closure below. You're closing nice and below, so we can see this gold have a little bit of a pullback. I'd like to get short here. Look at this nice 5-minute sell-off here on gold. Yeah, even got chain for it, absolutely. Gold king. So again, where would we like to see gold shorts from? Or do we want to sell gold at support, or do we want to sell gold at resistance? We want to sell gold at resistance. So we want to see if London can get a little bit of a squeeze here, and then see if we can continue selling. Potential head and shoulders on the 15? Yes, absolutely. If you're looking at this one here, yes, it's a very nice head and shoulders. There's your left shoulder, there's your head, which is the liquidity grab, and you're looking for something like this. If that's what you're looking at, yeah, I really like that. 15-minute head and shoulders with an hourly candle closing back below as well. Definitely. So let's see this London open here on gold, guys. See if we can, nice little bit of a top wick, and see if we can see if we get short here on gold. There's that hourly break below. Where would we want to retrace into? At least, let's say 39. I'd like to get short here on gold. Could you short from here? Yeah, you could, but the risk reward will be a bit off. So if I want to short gold, I want to short gold up here. This is a nice little, this is a nice short here. How much is this down? Gold down almost 100 ticks here already. From the highs of this resistance, yeah, gold down about 120 ticks here. If we open and just squeeze the lows, you may pull back. Goldie just selling off here. That 745 15 short was the one, I think. Yeah, there's that squeeze on gold, guys. Kind of trying to see a little bit of a pullback so I could get in this with a worthwhile risk to reward. Because if I try and short here, there's no, manage as soon as you hit these lows. There's no real risk to reward. So it's hard for me to want to chase gold this low. But this is the short we're talking about. What would that 15 flip be up? 65 ticks, not bad. Anyone in these cells? Anyone already short here on gold? This is nice. This is a decent short. The fact this owlie is opening and instantly squeezing makes you think you may find some support and pull back. So look at where gold's coming into now. So that's why I would have liked to have already been short before we hit these areas, because this is all the way down here is a potential reversal. Yeah, worry about getting in straight out the push down. Yeah, I agree, man. And where you're coming into now on gold, anywhere in all of this region is where you may find some intraday support, pull back, and then I'd like to see if we can get it. The fact this hourly opened and instantly pushed down, you don't want to see that and start chasing it. An instant hourly push down could be a liquidation of these lows here to fuel a bit of a pullback to then get short. So now we could be seeing something like this. Anyone who was buying here on gold, you imagine a lot of people trying to buy here on gold. Stops go just below the previous low. What does price do? Comes down, tags them lows. So now we have to kind of see how we're going to react around here. It would be lovely to already been kind of, if you were short here on gold, you'd be managing at these lows. We don't want to short this low. For this exact reason. Let's see, man. Yep, that looks pretty nice. Was that you take a break even on that one? Minus 23. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I like that short. I like that short. Took a sneaky one micro back to break even. Nice, nice, nice. Remember, guys, Monday morning as well. Monday morning here on gold in the markets. That will break even. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Break even is good. Even if we were short from this 15, if you shorted this 15, you'd be targeting much lower. But as soon as you hit these lows, you'd be managing here anyway. So you'd easily take the break even there. Now we kind of have to see how gold's going to react around this resistance, because you can kind of see right now on gold. Look at this. Although you did have a nice sell-off, look at where we're coming into. Major support. So big resistance, big support. Very, very, very tight range here on gold. Which is why I was skeptical of trying to chase this hourly open. Because remember, if this hourly opens and instantly sells off, well, that's when I kind of get skeptical that could be a bit of a liquidity grab to pull back and continue to range. So for the guys who are saying, for longs on gold, a long's possible. Yeah, I mean, anything's possible here on gold. Again, that's why you just kind of want to look for a bit of a break above or below, but be very careful trading in here on gold. You're right in the middle of a pretty tough range. How's that 4 hour looking? Did you grab 4 hour lows? Oh yeah, look at that. Came down, tagged previous 4 hour lows, instantly rejected there as well. So, I mean, if we actually here's a good scenario right now. If we get a 30-minute fake out here, you tag these lows, you've had your liquidity grab, you reclose back above, then great. Then you can kind of go back to 100 tick range. Nice. Good man, Doom. Locked out the extra phase and just tuning in to keep the learning up. Amazing, man. That's what we like to hear. When it's in a big range, nearly goes the opposite direction after a big, yeah, bullish and bearish close. Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I do think we will get some nice plays here on gold today, especially with the way that Friday candle closed. I mean, unless today closes bullish, but that was a very, very decent Friday candle close. Like I said, I didn't trade Friday. Did any of you guys trade Friday? What did London do? I don't think London did anything at all. It didn't really do anything at all. You kind of got the real moves at 1 o'clock. Look at this, 1 o'clock London time. Tagged the lows, broke out, really nice squeeze, and then had a huge sell-off. huge sell off on Friday. Gold was down like 500 ticks, which is insane. Let's have a look. NQ, it looks like it wants to pull back as well. There's a pretty decent liquidity grab here, guys. It may be worth a little bit of a shot. The only risk here is the fact the hourly hasn't really broken out. But if we close this bullish in 8 minutes, that's a pretty decent 15 close. Yeah, one of the longs went out for walk, nothing. Yeah, then it ripped. Yeah, had a big rip. Yeah, decent rip here. This is a strong 15 reaction right off these lows here. Look at that. Hit them lows and is about to break out. So for the guys who are asking, could you grab these highs? Yes. Worry about these highs only once we actually break out. If we tag lows and you close bullish, great. Now you can say, cool, we're probably going to come for these highs. But when you tag highs and close bearish, you want to be looking for these lows. Like I say, guys, staying as reactive as possible. Yeah, right, that'd be up. Yeah, nice. In long, nice. Where do you get long from, man? Down here or here? The only thing with this, with where gold is right now is you kind of work. I mean, if this 15 breaks out, I would like to take it, but right now this is what we're really working with here. 35.4, cool, nice. 35.4. Nice. Yeah, you take the it's like the hourly flip pretty much. Hourly bottom wick, somewhere around the flip. I like that. Let's see how this 15 is gonna open. Anything else you guys looking at? Feel free to send over. Remember, it's Monday morning, so we can do some top down on other markets as well. Doesn't have to just be gold. NQ does need some time. Let's see here, guys. Let's see. I think we're gonna get a pretty decent. I think we're gonna get a decent 15 breakout here. Silver. Let's have a look at silver. Yep. Let's have a look at silver. Some guys like trading silver, which is good. Let's see. Daily on silver. Let's get rid of all of this for a second here. How long we got to this? We got 5 minutes till this 15 is going to close here on gold. Daily on silver's pretty. I mean, could create a big range. Silver's had an absolutely phenomenal push. Huge new all-time high push on silver. Daily's in a bit of a range. You had that bearish closure Thursday, Friday bullish closure. But look at that bullish closure on Friday. Did it really close that bullish? Not really. Kind of wicked out some highs and lows. The weekly time frame here on silver, though, is extremely bullish. So I'll be pretty much writing off any sells here on silver. I definitely wouldn't want to be shorting it. Look at this. Intraday came up, tagged this double top. But you have also now came down, tagged out some lows as well. So again, I would be looking for more silver longs. I think silver could retrace more of this sell-off here. I would be looking for silver longs. Maybe on even an hourly fake out. You kind of have silver holding some nice support here. Again, though, same thing with gold is you kind of right back into some pretty big resistance levels as well. But longs to me on silver would make the most sense. Maybe even pull back into this like 59.3 area on silver looks like a decent squeeze. 4 minutes on gold. Yeah, 4 hour flip. Yeah, very possible, man. I agree. Very possible. I can kind of see gold both sides right now. Same as silver. Big support, big resistance. intraday trading where we are right now could get very tough. And like I say, these are the times where everyone, you know, goes on tilt and gives back all of the gains because they can't bear to not be in a trade 24/7. Whereas here, you're at support, you're at resistance. You know, look at the price action list. Do you want to trade price action like this, or do you want to trade nice price action like this? Well, we want to trade nice price action like this. So therefore, you want to wait for the closure above, then you could get a nice breakout. That's a pretty strong liquidity grab here on silver. First thing on a Monday morning, massive liquidity grab and a decent breakout. So another leg higher on silver would make the most sense. Look at this closure here on gold, guys. I may try a small long here on gold. I say small because the hourly hasn't really confirmed, so I would start off pretty small here. So we've got 3 minutes until this first 15 of the London Open is going to close. Yeah, 42.50 is a strong level. Let's see, 2 minutes. What do we have? Back up into these highs. 100 ticks. Yeah, neither. Wouldn't do. I mean, you can only really scalp it. There's definitely no swings here right now. But you can, on gold right now, if you really want to, you can pretty much say, cool, here's my hourly support, here's my hourly resistance, wait for an hourly closure above or below. That'd probably be the simplest option. It's a big area right now on gold. And look at this price action here. Look at this. This is the hourly time frame. Look how ugly price can get in here. Look at this. We did take some nice longs in here, but look at this price action. Again, remember that, like I say, this is the hourly time frame. Gold can create these big ranges for a good couple of hours. But to me, if this 15 does break out like this, it's worth a half risk trade. You've just tagged lows, you've held support, you've closed bullish, you have 42.50 above. I would be happy to give this a shot. Again, I say I'd probably maybe just take like 1 or 2 micros max. Yeah, tag the highs before selling off. I mean, that's the thing. Like I say, when you measure this big sell-off that we had here on gold on Friday, is like you haven't really retraced very much of this. Even to retrace 50% of this move kind of takes you back to that 42.55-ish area. So let's see if this in 1 minute gold can get a little bit of a wick down, and I might see if I can buy into this 15 and 30 minute breakout. If you really want to, you also can just wait for that 30 minutes to close. Let's see. 40 seconds. As I say, sometimes you can get so zoomed in here. But again, don't zoom this far and guys, zoom out. Have that bigger picture in mind. What are we really doing here? Are we going up or down right now? Well, right now we're kind of stuck in the middle. Sometimes it's so easy to be so fixated on this. But always remember, zoom out. Look at your high time frame. Where are you at on the high time frame? You're at big support, big resistance, big reversal levels. Uh, 3 seconds here on gold. Let's see. So if you can potentially pull back just a little bit here on gold, I would see if I can maybe take like a half risk buy up into 42.50. Because look at that 15. 15 came down, tagged the lows, engulfed the previous 15-minute candle. So I'd be very surprised if this next 15, not impossible, but I'd be very surprised if this next 15 just completely came back lower. Yep. I like that. Let's have a look, Goldie. What are we up to, Goldie? Now remember, guys, it's 8:15 on a Monday morning. If gold needs some time, then that's also okay. But I think we should be in for a pretty good week. There you go. Now gold's coming down for a nice 15 bottom wick here. Yeah, daily time frame's the key. Absolutely. We should take on micro mini Nasdaq futures. What do you mean, man? Micro mini Nasdaq futures. Let's see, 15 coming down for a little bit of a bottom weight, trying to break back high here. How much did we sell off? Sold off 100 ticks, right back up another 100. Dakota in the house, what's going on? Appreciate tuning in. We're looking for some gold longs. Just trying to see if I can get a bit of an entry here. This nice initial sell off here on gold, but now we're trying to see if we can take some longs here on Goldie. Need to make some money before people even start the week. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 7 p.m. in Oz. Yeah, 7 p.m. in Oz, but 8:15 London time on a Monday morning, guys. We've got time. We've got time. I'm just seeing if we can get a little bit of a quick pullback here on gold to see if we can get these longs. I say a little bit of a pullback because if I buy gold right now, I'm going to look back and I'm going to end up getting a buy right at resistance, which I don't really want to do on the higher time frame. If I want to get long on gold, ideally we want to get long at a nice level of support where if it doesn't work, then we can manage our trade pretty quick. Whereas if we buy here and it doesn't work, then we could take a bigger loss. So anywhere around, just some previous 5-minute lows, back down at this 39 level looks like a nice level to take some longs. Did Dakota, if you're still here, did you get any longs in the overnight session today? Or any trades on gold, I should say? We do have a big week this week. Wednesday's a big day. To come to London, you can. Hey, man, you can absolutely come to London. Absolutely, man. Come and wake these markets up in London. There we go. Now gold's getting a nice little bit of a pullback here, guys. This is what we want to see. Nice little bit of a pullback. And now if we start re-breaking higher, great. That's a good level to start taking some longs. This is what we want to see. Did we just wick some lows there? Yes, we did. We just wicked some lows. So you can see a 5-minute came down, just tagged some lows, starting to break out. 15 also starting to break back high here. So there may be some buys here. It was too slow. Been liking the longs. Yeah, I do like these longs on gold as well. I do like these longs. Let's see here, guys. 15 trying to get back above. There's not a whole heap of volume here. Just tagged me in at 40.6. 40.6. Where are you in from, man? 40.6. Yeah, around that flip. Cool. I like that. I like that. Nice one. Appreciate you tuning in, Dakota. We'll see you on Fast Markets, man. I'll be tuning in on the YouTube chat. Appreciate you being here. Oh, that may have just been that quick 5-minute flip. Long average price hourly. Let's see. Down here, this hourly flip. Look at that. Look at that hourly all of a sudden. Sold off. Tag the lows straight back above here on gold. 35.8. 35.8. Oh, nice. Very nice. 35.8 is a great entry. 35.8 is a very, very, very nice entry. That's already like 70 ticks. That's the thing. The ranges aren't that big here on gold. I mean, it's still, 100 ticks is a great range, but they're not like, a couple of 100 ticks. So you can actually manage risk pretty well here. That's what would have been nice, getting long here as opposed to here. Playing the ranges, yeah. Playing the ranges, buying support, yeah. Makes the most sense, man. Makes the most sense. You may even get a bit of a, 30-minute might close like this. Next 30-minute may come down and do maybe something like that. There's still time here on gold. If you guys aren't in the longs yet, neither am I. There's still time. Still time here on Goldie. Yeah, that's the thing. We're right back into the exact same place we started. Look at Audi. Audi sold off. Try to get back above. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have a nice 30-minute liquidity grab and a nice 30-minute breakout. So now if you buy here on gold, once you get this 30 breakout, you can risk off any break back below this area, and then you have a pretty decent push. 4 hour hardly has a wick. Is that the currency chart? Let me see. Where are we? Where's the futures chart? Yeah, it's coming right back for that top wick. Look at that 4 hour. Came down, tagged low, starting to break out here. That may have been the rip there on gold. Look at that. Yeah, literally bad. Yeah, yeah. If you guys are in that 15 flip, that's nice. I missed that one. I have to again because I'm not already in this flip. I have to see how that 30 minutes going to open now. But that 15 came down, tagged lows, breaking back above. You're going to get that 30 closure in 7 minutes as well. Any rejection from here is good, to be honest, because you reject from this, you're going to get a lot of people probably trying to short this. More reason to see this continue squeezing higher. I'm just trying to see this 30 close. Remember that next, depending on where you guys are in from, if you guys are in from the 15 flip, remember your entry is at a level where price could easily retest before going higher. So you have to accept that. If you're in longs from here, you're going to get the 30-minute close in 6 minutes. This 30-minute could easily come down, tag this level before potentially going higher. So if you go to break even too quick and it does get you, well, either don't go to break even or be willing to give your trade a second chance. Because that 30-minute could easily come down, wick this level before going higher. Look at this, nice support. Big resistance, you broke below. Tag the lows, you break right back above. Well, we could easily come down, hit this before doing that. So if you're averaging from this breakout level, moving to your stops to break even could get you before the actual push comes in. Gold is at the area you said you wanted a short from. Now I wanted a short gold from here before it did this. Before gold had this liquidity grab, I wanted to get short. Like here where you broke out, if we had pulled back, then I would have got short down into these lows. But the fact that gold opened, grabbed these lows and closed bullish, then that's no longer a short level. The way that you came into this area is very important. The fact that you tagged lows and broke out aggressively, no, I wouldn't sell this. The only way I would have shorted this level is if that hourly tagged these highs first, and then I would have got short. Because the hourly opened, came down, and then closed bullish, and it started breaking back above. So no, this isn't a short area for me right now on gold. Hey Aaron, hey man, notice gold creates some sort of chop on the 5 minute, then takes out the mini range with a fake out forward, continuing to liquidity highs. Yeah, that's what gold loves to do a lot. Gold loves them. The fake out plays are some of my nicest plays here on gold. The fake outs can be the best trades to take here. Look at this rejection here on gold now. So the reason I haven't jumped in, guys, I want to see this 30-minute close because nothing's super clear to me just yet. I can see support, I can see resistance. I can try and take little scalps in here, but again, I'll probably end up taking a couple of break evens. Let me just wait for the 30-minute fake out to be actually confirmed and then take the trade. Because like I said, even if this 30-minute closes bullish, well, it's not just going to rip out of nowhere. It's not how gold moves. You'll break out, you'll confirm the move, and then you'll get your trade. But yeah, that's why sometimes on gold, the 5 minute can be very, very, very tough to trade. But you only want to be dropping down to the 5 on gold once you have your high time frame confirmation. So this push up here, that was a 15 closure. So this would have been a nice buy from here. But the fact that this is wicking down right before the 15 close, now you would have to be at break even. See, look at this 30 minute candle now. You've gone from looking like we're going to be very bullish to all of a sudden, we're closing right back into this range that we haven't closed above or below yet, which is the reason I'm not massively jumping in anything. So you guys who are wondering, why am I not jumping in this trade yet? Well, you haven't closed above anything. Although I could have seen this pushing up, you're still in a range. Here's your resistance, here's your support. Break even. Yeah, it's still a good break even trade. I like that trade. If you did take that 15 long and you took the break even, to me that's still a good trade. So now you got this 15 minute here. Again, guys, I'm not jumping in positions. I'm not wasting trades for the day. I'm also not wasting mental capital. You have resistance, you have support. If you want to trade these ranges, that's absolutely fine, you can. But don't get frustrated when these ranges hold. A lot of people try and take this breakout, doesn't work, and then they get frustrated. Well, you're just in a range. You have big resistance here, you have big support here. There's nothing really that massively jumping out. Therefore, I'm just chilling, just waiting. Just waiting. Still need to get overexcited, over emotional. Yeah, like I say, guys, it's 8:30 on a Monday morning with no candle closure above or below this range yet. In a very, very, very tight range of, 50 tick. Gold's in a 50 tick range right now. Yeah, break evens are good. Yep. Yeah, break evens are good as long as you guys can accept the break evens. Don't, like I say, don't take break evens and then get frustrated. Go, oh damn, I wish price would just break out. It's like, well, rather than wishing something's going to happen, why not wait for it to happen and then take your trade? I feel like that would be a much more less stressful and easier decision to make. Again, that's why sometimes the lower time frame can get you too zoned in. When you zoom out, well, let's see. We got this 30-minute close in 1 minute. How's this 30-minute about to close? You're wicking out the highs. You're also wicking out the lows. You're closing right back within this range, with a previous hourly also closing bearish. Plus 2 ticks. Hey, man. 2 ticks is 2 ticks. Nothing for me so far yet, though. But like I said, we got timing, guys. Remember, show you this to show you guys you don't need to be in every single up and down move in the markets. You need quality over quantity. You need to be jumping in every single time you see the market go up and down. If you get excited and try and chase it, well, then you have to ask yourself, are you trading a plan or are you just trading every single up and down tick? Profit's profit, exactly, man. Money's money. So look at this sell-off here on gold. You are leaving a lot more liquidity above now. I'm very surprised you didn't come up to regrab these highs. Look at this here on gold. Lots of chop here, guys. Lots of chop. Did spot grab the highs? That's a good point, man. Let's have a look. I don't think so. Let me see. Did the spot chart grab the highs? I don't believe so. No, it kind of looks pretty much the same. Yeah, it looks pretty much the same. So we got that 30-minute close there on gold, guys. You can see that 30-minute is just closing just in the range. Like I say, guys, there's, exciting it is to see this candle pushing up. We haven't actually closed above or below yet. So here's your resistance, here's your support. You have to stay very, very neutral in here. It's a very tough level here on gold. And like I say, this is where, you try and trade in here. This is where you can just get chopped up and burnt out. All of this type of price action. Look at this. This is where you can give back all of your gains. Or you can just accept it. It's a little bit choppy. It's a Monday morning. And wait. Sit on your hands. You could right now, you could literally say to yourself, if we break back below here on gold, I'm going to get a great short down into here. Once you do close back below, that's going to be a nice 100 tick short. That seems like a pretty good trade. And once you do wait for that candle to close back below, you have that more confirmed move. You have the breakout, you have the volume, fantastic, you can take a trade. Yep, just wicked out previous hourly highs. Yeah, it's a good spot. Came all the way up for that huge liquidity grab. Wicked out previous hourly highs. So if you now start to break back lower, could you go back to the original shorts? Maybe. Let's see. I still want to wait for closure above or below. We close below, you got great shorts down into 42.21. How's NQ moving? Is NQ waking up yet? No, NQ's still sleeping as well. We got time. Copper boy. Yeah, we haven't looked at copper in a while. I haven't. I personally haven't looked at copper in a long time. We had some nice copper trades, and then I haven't really looked at it since. You had this huge, insane sell-off in July. And you've kind of just slowly crept this way back up. Yeah, it doesn't look very good. I think gold's way nicer. When you see the moves on gold, you kind of realize, although there's nothing wrong with trading other markets, but when you see how nice and consistent the moves are on gold, it's like you don't even really need to look at other markets. I mean, you can if you want to, but like I said, you guys, you get good at reading gold. Gold is more than enough. I think gold moves much more nicer and consistently than copper. Same as NQ. I think NQ moves nicer than copper. All right, YouTube guys, it's only Monday morning here. We have gold in a very tough range here, guys. We're literally just waiting for gold to give that decent closure above or below. So until then, guys, I'm not going to jump in gold so far here this morning. I haven't taken a single trade yet, and so far the patience is paying because I'm not mentally draining myself. I'm also not taking unnecessary break-evens and losses. I'm ready to execute once price does actually break out. So if we break to the upside, we've got longs into 42.50. If we break back below, we do also have some very nice shorts on gold back down into that 42.20 level as well. So there's decent ranges to play on gold, but right now, when you're right in the middle of a very tough range at 8:30 on a Monday morning with big news coming up this week, we don't need to go too crazy just yet, guys. We have absolutely all week to take trades. If you guys are here, we'll be live every single day this week. I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. Trade safe, guys. Don't force it. We have all week to take some good quality trades. Remember, guys, quality over quantity. And I'll see you guys same time again tomorrow. Trade safe, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers, guys.